Hey, Uza,
Hey, Whitney.
it's time for Sambai Speaks.
It is, and we're here with our amazing friend, and we can't wait to meet in person, Benda Kithaka.
Yeah. Hey, Benda from Kenya.
Hi, Ricky. Hi, Uzo. Delighted to join you from Kenya.
We're so
Yes.
excited to have you here, and we're so excited to go visit you in Kenya soon. So that's going to be awesome. But we wanted to get to you and talk to you about the amazing work you are doing at KILELE Health and all the things you are doing to fight cancer in Kenya. And so let's go. Let's go. You know, I,
Okay,
I
thank
kind of want
you.
to I want to start with, give us your story, tell us your story, but then let's talk a little bit about cancer in Kenya. This is kind
Mhm.
of the state of cancer, but tell your story first. So who are you, Benda?
Okay, so my name is Benda Kithaka. I'm a health advocate in Kenya. I came into this field without any knowledge of cancer besides the lived experience of my sister. She had
Mm,
been told she has cancer of the cervix. And when we did investigations in Nairobi, she lived in the village and we brought her to Nairobi, had her tested. It was found to be pre-cancer of the cervix. At that time, I worked in corporate Kenya and I was doing marketing for big brands.
mm.
And I could afford my health insurance. And so, piggybacking on that experience, I was able to bring her to a gynecologist in Nairobi. And she was treated and she recovered. And she went on to have a baby without chemotherapy or radiotherapy. And that
Awesome.
for me was so many things in one go. One, I didn't think cancer was disease that people could survive. Secondly, I did not know much about cancer. Even I myself had never gone for a pap smear. And the one that I had gone for before that, I had left the doctor's office and promised myself I was never going to do that again. And so I never even went for the results. Fast
Wow.
forward, yes, I started reading up on the disease, cervical health, and I discovered that it was a question of communication. Actually, the big issue was there are tests, there is the vaccine, and it's a disease that's preventable. And that was in 2010. And I realized I am using my marketing and communications knowledge differently going forward. So I came into the field wanting to change the understanding of cervical cancer, wanting to change the knowledge of people and how they perceive the disease, and wanting to make a difference in people's lives generally. Because I thought this is a gift I've been given, that my sister is well, that she has a small baby. And so it was a joy for me to come into this field.
Well,
Fast
it's so funny
forward.
you say marketing. I have a marketing background as well. And
Oh,
and I really believe that advocacy is marketing because it's really all about communication, explaining things to people, and impacting their behavior. So it's like, how can we
absolutely.
use this skill for good in an advocacy space is so great. So I love to hear that because that's what we do, right?
Absolutely. The funny thing is when I came into this field, initially when I was going to school, I did political science. And so I thought I was going to be this in the political field, leading maybe, working maybe in diplomacy, international relations, all those things. And then life had a way of showing me that my advocacy was going to be very different from what I had anticipated it was going to be. And the interesting bit is that actually now I do advocacy and communications, and now I do policy advocacy. And so I'm able to build on the skill set that I had in political science,
Right.
but for the greater good, and
Right.
utilizing marketing and communications and utilizing branding and utilizing storytelling, all these things that I amassed in my marketing experience to be able to bring the knowledge and experience and expertise into health. And that has proven immeasurable. You must agree, Ricky, that having that skill set to be able to succinctly communicate things makes so much difference in a
Yes.
field that is laden with jargon, with misinformation, disinformation, with myths and misconceptions. Being able to succinctly communicate that really does make a difference.
Right.
Yeah.
And your own story that you just told, Benda, about not having had a pap smear and like not believing it and not wanting to go back. you know, you can really relate to how to talk about it because of your own personal fears.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm,
And I think
mhm.
that, you know, I speak from my personal experience of having a clinical trial, so I can talk about it because I did it. I went through it, and I think that helps with the story as well. So
It
it helps
does.
get the message across.
It does indeed. And coming to the second question you asked me about then cancer in Kenya. Nowadays, I joke with people and I tell them 15 years ago, if I had known what I was getting myself into, I don't know.
Wow.
Because
Wow.
I came into a field thinking I was coming to deal with cervical cancer and I was coming to deal with communications in cervical cancer. Little did I know that it's a whole continuum when you're talking about prevention, early detection, timely treatment, um, access to care, and then survivorship care, palliative care. And thinking about the community, I came from the community not knowing a single thing. And then thinking about that and thinking, how can we make a difference in this field? So let me paint a bit of a picture for all the people who are listening in to us.
Great.
Kenya is in East Africa. That is Limo, and I'm hoping he can be able to join us on the call.
Oh, great.
But yes, even as we do, let me try and text him to see if he's able to join us. But as I was saying, I would like to paint a picture of what cancer looks like in Kenya. And in terms of painting that picture, I just want to bring to the attention to all of us that when I came into this field, I assumed cancer was the one disease, only to come and discover that every part of the body, apart from the hair, the tip of the hair and the tip of the nails could potentially get cancer. So that was the first shocker. And then the second shocker, for me, and it's something that has evolved over time, is that the 5 cancers devastating Kenyans are actually cancers that are either screenable, treatable, often to 100% cure rate, or manageable, often very well, with very good quality of care outcomes, dependent on where the person is. These are breast, cervical, esophageal, colorectal, and prostate cancer.
Yes.
In those 5 cancers, we do know science has shown it's possible to screen. Colorectal is screenable, esophageal cancer and throat cancers are screenable. It's possible to screen for prostate cancer, and dependent on the age recommendations and the guidelines, breast cancer similarly, cervical cancer similarly. We've also seen very good interventions around all these cancers. And actually the outcomes, if you look at the outcomes in the developed global north, in terms of cancer care, you will notice that people survive, 80% of the people diagnosed with the disease will actually survive with very good quality of life. In Africa, for example, and in Kenya
If
specifically,
it's detected early, that 80%.
if detected early.
Yes.
But you see, that's one of the things, detected early and with access to care.
Right.
Okay. Now, and timely care as well.
Yeah. Yes.
Timely quality care. In Kenya and in Africa, sadly, survival rate is anywhere between 35% to 60%, dependent on what cancer we're talking about. In fact, some of the cancers, like childhood cancers, it's 20% survival rate, when in global north, 80 to 90% survival rate. And so again, you start asking questions about equity and access. You start asking questions about care. You start asking questions about psychosocial support, because you can imagine if someone has a loved one who isn't as fortunate as I was, for them to survive the cancer, where are they mentally? If someone is being diagnosed today and being told you have stage 4 breast cancer, or stage 4 cervical cancer, or stage 4, whichever type of cancer it is, and the conversation at that point is to manage the disease, not necessarily for curative care, then where are they at mentally? And so, and then we know in Kenya, the cost of cancer care is phenomenally expensive. When I came into the field, even the social health insurance was not covering at all in cancer. Today, we have some packages that do cover some elements of cancer care. And so we've seen our advocacy working over time. We've seen improvement in access to care because now we have 5 public health cancer centers. When I came into this field, there was only 1 cancer center that was serving the public.
Wow. Wow.
Okay. So the picture that I paint, and now you can imagine in Kenya, we are fortunate that we have across the continuum of care, we have screening programs, we have treatment access, we have oncologists and other specialists, not necessarily mapped to the entire population, but at least we can talk about more than 80 oncologists, for example, radio, clinical, gyne oncologists, all of them combined. In some countries in Africa, we don't have that. In Kenya, we can brag 5 treatment centers, public treatment, and another 7 private treatment centers. In the rest of Africa, not necessarily so. So in Kenya, we still are at a privileged place, even as we talk about access to care, about access to treatment, and then policies as well. We have a cancer control policy and control plan and strategic plan. Just today with the Ministry of Health, we're discussing the National Cervical Cancer Elimination Action Plan. And that is a document that is going to be launched in January. So in Kenya, from a policy perspective, we're in a very good space. From a patients advocacy space, we have quite a number of organizations that are doing advocacy and community engagement and mobilization. Where then is the disconnect? Awareness and education and the empowerment of patients for them to take the next step.
Right.
Beyond awareness.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say,
beyond awareness, translating it to care. Sorry, go ahead, Uzo.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to ask, what are some of the things you're hearing in your community as you talk about the awareness? What are some of the myths that maybe come up?
And that's what I was going to bring up, because earlier you said when you heard the word cancer, you didn't think anyone survived it.
Yeah.
True.
Is that something that's pervasive in the community?
To date, when we talk about cancer in our communities, there's still people who won't believe that some cancers are curable. And why? Because we are constantly seeing people dying of the disease. We're constantly burying our relatives, our friends, our community members. We're constantly being put in WhatsApp groups to fundraise for these people to access care. Yeah. And so it's one of those things that we've made strides in the policy and in the investments that need to be done. We need to reach the same strides in the community awareness and education and targeted access programs for screening, for treatment, and also for clinical trials so that people are able to afford some of these services. Some of the things that we see, and this is fear, there is stigma, there is misinformation and disinformation. And from a communications perspective, allow me not to repeat any of them on this call, because if I do, and somebody just logs in on that point and hears only that sentence, then they may think it's actually true. I'm validating it, and I'm not. So as opposed to saying the misinformation, disinformation that we encounter, what we're doing then is trying to demystify the disease, to talk about cancer is not one disease, to talk about the early signs and symptoms of the different types of cancer, to talk about what is readily available in the country to be able to sensitize people on access to care, to be able to talk about the need for social health insurance and for people to actually register for it so that they can be able to access the care. To talk about lived experiences of people who have experienced the healthcare system from a two-point perspective. The first one, when we bring our survivors on the table and they're talking about their disease and they're saying what they went through, it becomes easier for the person who is listening to identify and say, wait, that is somebody who survived the cancer.
Yeah.
If I'm found, I can also survive. That's the one. But the second one is to sensitize the community that there is life beyond cancer, and also to get to see that if these are the signs and symptoms you're experiencing, like the person who is speaking, who is relatable, can you also go get checked? It doesn't mean you have cancer. It could mean it's something else happening in your body. But if you know as early as possible, then your outcomes are better guaranteed than if you don't know. Yeah.
Right.
So
And
those
maybe
are some of the
encourage
things
somebody
that
to
we're
get
doing.
checked.
Yes.
Yeah. And encourage them to
Absolutely.
get checked, which is what all we can really do,
Absolutely.
right? Right.
Yeah.
I know it's
You're doing that with your champions, right? You have
Yeah.
KILELE have champions that go out into the community.
Yes. Now let me talk about KILELE Health. Goodness. KILELE Health is a civil society organization founded in Kenya. I founded KILELE Health. And the reason I went about founding KILELE Health was because for 9 years I had worked in prevention. I had worked in cervical cancer specifically, and I was sensitizing people together with my team. We were working together to sensitize people about early detection. We were taking screening activities to the community. And at that point, I experienced two things. The first one was a friend of mine who used to be with me in the trenches, a survivor, had a recurrence. And in that recurrence, it was cervical cancer recurrence. It was so quick and so, we didn't see it coming.
Wow.
And so when she got the recurrence, she had a very quick regression into stage 4 disease, and she actually died of the recurrence.
Wow.
And that for me was very painful because I kept thinking, so we tell people go get screened, go get treated, you will be fine. But at that time, I was blind to survivorship. So I didn't know what survivors went through. And when I patted myself on the back together with my team that we've screened 1,000 women, we've treated 100 women, we are in a good place. People, clap for yourselves. Only not to realize that those 100, we've told them go back to the community. What are they going back to? Probably they sold their land to get treated. Probably the spouse left them because of fear and the stigma associated with cancer. Probably they had to take loans to get access to care, and therefore they've been left with loans, and probably they've lost their job. And the community around them has been fundraising for them. So all of a sudden, people stop picking their calls because they are afraid this person is asking for money. So what are we telling them go back to? Okay. That was the first thing that I was blind to that brought me to starting KILELE. The second thing I was blind to, my grandfather, he was 34 years lived with diabetes.
Wow.
34 years of managing diabetes, managing his diet, his lifestyle, managing his, getting himself tested and sort of just adjusting his diet, adjusting his medication, having the healthcare system serve him very well. And then he was diagnosed with cancer in 2017. And by 2018, we were burying him. And that again for me was like, wait a minute. So cancer has taken away. We have Limo on the call. Hi, Limo.
Hi, Limo.
Hi, Limo. Are you able to put on your camera? Okay, as Limo is coming on board, I was saying my grandfather. Hi, Limo.
Hi, Limo. Great to meet you. Glad you're here with us.
We can't wait to we can't wait to get into why you're here.
Yes.
Sweet. But Benda, what kind of cancer?
Ricky. We're with Ricky and Uzo, and they are from the US, and they're going to be talking to you a little bit about what we're doing on the 17th. But before we get to that, I was talking about my grandfather, Uzo. It was a Kaposi sarcoma. And again, I had Kaposi sarcoma is a cancer which affected his legs. So the blood circulation in his legs had stopped, and he needed to be given chemo to be able to ease the side effects of the cancer and to be able to give him better quality of life. He was at 80, he passed on at 84. He was diagnosed at 82, he passed on at the age of 84. Wow. We only had him for over 1 year, 7 months. But in that period, again, I became aware of the side effects of treatment. And I knew from a perspective of early detection and timely treatment, we also needed to talk about access to care. And we also needed to talk about survivorship and quality of life. So when I was starting KILELE Health, at that time, I came from a point of, I'm tired of watching people die when we've told them you will have a better quality of life. Believe it or not, I went up the mountain the very first time to confront God and to ask him, you said I'm serving you. How is it that people are dying on my watch? I'm glad I went up the mountain, because when we climbed with cancer survivors and caregivers. We went the first time 2020, we prepared during COVID-19 time, and we went up the mountain, and we were 15 of us, and 9 submitted to the top. Cancer survivors and caregivers who had never had any experience of hiking. And we had been doing small hills to prepare ourselves. And we were able to show people it is possible to do anything if you set your mind to it. But the other thing that we showed people is that cancer is not a death sentence, because the people who are on that mountain, there are other majority of people who have lived in this country who have never been up any hill, let alone that mountain.
So talk about the mountain. What is this mountain? What mountain are you talking about for our viewers? Because I don't know.
Mount Kenya.
Mount Kenya.
This is Mount Kenya, second highest mountain in Africa. It is 4,900, over 4,900 feet above sea level. The kind of elevation you get is crazy. We did this in 5 days. Some people, I will not mention them, they're on this call.
Well, Oza and I live in America, so it's not us. Right?
Some people want to do it.
Some special people
want to do it in 10 hours.
5 days versus 10 hours. Oh my God. 5,000, what do you say, 5,248 feet?
Above sea level. And some people want to do it in 10 hours. Limo.
So Limo, so what's your story, dude? How are you going to do that?
Just a correction.
And why? And why?
She's downgraded meters to feet, and I know that's an injustice.
Please talk about it, Limo. You are the expert. I am not.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert. I'm just a happy guy on the mountain. I'm just happy to be out there.
So Limo,
Yeah,
tell us
so
about,
Yeah, tell us what you're doing.
So I'm Limo. I'm love of the mountains, and mountains is my hobby. It's my home. It's my to-go-to place. And when I met Benda in a shop somewhere, I think she was shopping for shoes to go to Mount Kenya.
Shopping for shoes is a good thing. We support that.
Yeah, she was buying hiking shoes to go to Mount Kenya. I don't choose hiking. I don't choose hiking shoes. I use running shoes to the mountains.
Wow.
And I was just looking at her shopping. I'm like, okay, do you? And we just briefly chat about the course she was undertaking. And I remember her telling me about a guy called Jonte. I don't know if Benda still remembers.
Yes,
a guy called Jonte, who didn't have a leg or had one leg and really wanted to climb the mountains. So I told Benda, let's just exchange contacts. I don't know what I'll do, but I'll see what I'll do. Fast track, we've worked with Benda to raise awareness for cervical cancer. And thanks to Benda, I'm now an ambassador for cervical cancer. So awesome. I say I donate my hobby and my time towards the cause. as much
So
as cervical cancer does not directly affect men, like men don't suffer from it, but I feel like the male voice is very important. Either we all have a mother, we come from a woman. Depending on how you relate, either most likely you have a wife, a girlfriend, you have a daughter, you have female friends. So I feel like if the man can add his voice, oh sorry guys, I'm in a noisy place. If every man can add their voice or their contribution towards cervical cancer, then we can gain more.
wow.
So
So
for
I
me,
found this
I'm adding
picture.
the male voice into it. Sorry?
No, that's the male voice is so important. But I found this picture. Is this it?
Yep. That's Mount Kenya, all right?
Yeah, so not Mount Kenya. So Mount Kenya is about 4,049.85 meters above sea level. So we'll
Meters,
be
not
tackling
feet.
it
Right.
as a
So
group of 10. I would
that's
say
bigger.
the best ultra runners in Kenya will be tackling that mountain jointly. We've done it separately many times, but this is the first time that we'll assemble a team to go up and down Mount Kenya in under 10 hours.
Wow.
And we wait to see how we will collectively put our voice into this and make and have a greater impact.
Wow.
That sums it up for me.
Thank you so much for.
But I can say I know Benda remembers this. I've attempted to climb that mountain 10 times towards cervical cancer. Came short. I climbed 6 times. Well, one of the most painful experiences ever, because I think I was on my feet for 72 hours and I only slept for 18 minutes. Yeah, I took a beating.
Wow.
But I'm willing to go the extra mile any day for it.
Wow. I found another picture.
Well, thank you so much, Limo, for your dedication to the cause. Do you know anybody or do you have anyone in your family with any kind of cancer?
Yeah, I lost my uncle to pancreatic cancer in 2022. Yeah, but back in the village, a lot of my village mates have died of cancer, including my friend who we were in high school together. We lost him some time back. Yeah, so it's hit home quite a number of times.
Yeah.
So for me, it's giving whatever I can to get awareness or whatever kind of publicity I can give to the cause.
Yeah. How many of you will there be?
There will be 10 of them.
Can you guys see the pictures rotating that I'm showing you? Can you see the pictures?
Yes, we can see the pictures. There will be 10 of them running up the mountain, and they intend to do this in 10 hours.
Running where? Running where? Where's
that mountain?
Where's the path?
So you see the photos that you've just shown right now? You see that? You see that? This is actually one of the stopping points called Shipton.
We're right here.
This is one of the, no, the one that you had before that. So Limo and the team will run up from Sirimon, okay, up the mountain to Lenana Point. If I was to use a marker just to highlight what that looks like, just one moment. If I can look at that and see, can I be able to annotate this?
You probably can't because it's on my share, you know?
Yes, but if you look at that point here, they will try to, they will not try. They have done this before individually. Each of them has done their best hours. I think the best hours has been 10 hours up the mountain. So Limo has put together a team that is going to go 10 people accompanied by a crew of 5 persons and another crew up the mountains, 5 persons, and another team of 5 at the base of the mountain that will provide the basic support for them to go up the mountain. But the plan, and this is where it gets interesting for us, What you're showing here right now is just the mountain itself, the peak of the mountain. But from Old Moses, where they will start their run, up all the way to the top is quite some bare land. Some of it is forested, some of it is bare, some of it is bog, which has a lot of water. Some of it is running in elephant grass that is really, really tough to walk in, let alone run. I have done that hike twice, and both times it was 5 days of incredibly difficult terrain. You get some places and you start talking to God. You don't want to talk to anybody else near you, and they're going to run up that mountain. And so that's what's really amazing about it. But Limo, maybe you can give some of your experiences up the mountain.
Well, but the mountain is unforgiving, and as you say, no one really conquers the mountain. The mountain will always win. But I think in those moments when you're going through the pain, then you realize, for me, I think the fact that you know that there are people going through worse pain than you're doing.
Wow.
So you're up the mountain, the weather is against you, the terrain, your muscles are aching, but still at the back of your mind.
Is it snowing? Is it snowing? There's snow.
It snows. It snows. On bad days you can get temperatures as low as -5. You try drink your water, it's all ice.
Oh.
Yeah, but still the fact that you think that someone is going through worse and there's little they can do about it, this keeps you going. Yeah, and because you tell yourself, well, I can still dig deeper than this, because I still have the energy, I still have the power, I still have the will.
And God is with you.
For that person who can't do that extra that you're trying to do. So for me,
Only
that's always
because
a
God is
motivation.
with you. Only because God is with you, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
is it a fundraiser? Are you raising money, or just an awareness thing, or?
So here's the thing, and this is something that maybe your international community can help us with. We were doing some research around the possibility of making this a fundraiser, only to discover that in Kenya, it's not one of the countries that can do a GoFundMe. We're not in a position to put a GoFundMe page out there.
Why?
But
Why?
because it's not one of the pre-qualified countries for GoFundMe as a
Okay.
platform for fundraising.
Okay.
So if there was a way for us to work together and put a GoFundMe, this is one of the things that we want to do, because guess what? This team is going up the mountain on the 17th to raise awareness, 10 of them only. But on the 29th, is it 29th and 30th of January, or is it 30th and 31st of January? The team will go back up again the mountain. And this time round, they will do the 3 different routes. So they will run up the mountain, come down the mountain, go back up again, come down the mountain, and go back up again and come down the mountain. Yes. 3
Over what
times.
time period? Over what time period?
24 hours.
No way. No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
So between now, the 17th, when we launch this campaign, and the 31st of January, when we close the campaign for awareness, we're hoping that if you join us and others who are also able to do something in their own spaces can do something to help us raise funds, it can become that in Kenya, 10 women die daily because of cervical cancer. If this team, each of them, just the 10 guys and ladies who are going up the mountain, the best ultra runners in the country, if they can do this, and it's their one little thing towards the contribution, and each person maybe commits just to give $10 for every kilometer run, okay? Even if we get as many people giving, their pain, which they're going through up the mountain, becomes a solution for somebody else who may not be able to afford screening, may not be able to afford treatment, may not be able to afford care. and psychosocial support, or even awareness in the villages to say, you can do this, you can stop one cancer if we can work together. And as you know, as I mentioned, the other cancers that are devastating our people, for example, if we talk about breast cancer, and again, if it's the same woman who is coming to be screened for cervical, can also be supported to screen for breast cancer. When we talk about pancreatic cancer, one of the hardest to survive, and Limo has just mentioned that his uncle passed on because of pancreatic cancer. Even creating awareness about that would be able to save somebody's life. So our appeal to the community that is all working towards this is find your one thing that you can do and do it. I'm hoping our international community that is in countries that can do a GoFundMe also choose to do so and work with us towards this. And what we do with that is next year, my prayer and my hope is I can convince these teams to stop running up mountains and to start running to the counties to take the baton and the beacon of hope that we can actually prevent in the counties. So if we send Limo, he likes to go to Marsabit, which is far, far, far away. If we can send him to Marsabit and he goes and brings the community together, we can bring awareness and education and screening activities in those communities out of the funds that we raise. So probably by the time we speak next, or by the time this video goes up, we will have a GoFundMe that's ready for people to be able to contribute.
We will make that happen. We will make that happen.
Awesome. Thank you. Yes. And
we'll make that happen.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Ricky.
And the funding will go to the community, and I think
absolutely
that's so important. It's so important.
Absolutely.
Wow. So Limo, you didn't answer my one question. I mean, you sort of did by saying you were motivated by your uncle and everything, but why this? You love the mountain. So let me take away what I took away. Let me say what I took away. You love the mountain. You're trying to get awareness of cancer, and you want to prove that if men support cervical cancer, you're really supporting the women in your community. So why you? Did God tell you to do this? Did you wake up one morning and say, God said, go run up this mountain? Like, why you? Why now?
Sorry, I lost you.
Oh, I said, why you? Why now? Like, why do you want to do, I get your motivations, but you're just a superhero.
Sorry, I missed your question. The internet.
No, I was just saying, why you? Why now? Like you said, because you want to prove all these things to the world and all that things. But like, what in your spirit drove you to do this?
Well, I learned from Benda that cervical cancer is preventable.
Okay.
And that just, sorry, forgive my language, that just pissed me off. Like, then why are people dying from something that can be prevented?
Right.
I didn't know it. Means a bunch of guys around me didn't know it.
Right.
So it means there's a level of, in quotes, ignorance that you can actually tackle.
Right.
So people to realize that, hey guys, let's work on this thing, be it screening, be it vaccines.
Okay. Good.
And right now, between then and now, I became a father of 2 girls.
Okay. There you go. There's the money shot. There you go. There you go.
I'm like, yeah, I would want my daughters to grow up with more information.
Yes.
And by and large, more people in society growing up with more information. Because I think for me, information is a key. So if you can disseminate as much information as possible.
And they can get the vaccine when they're teenagers. Great.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, that says it all. But we're grateful for you. We're grateful for you. And I'm hoping that you'll get a lot of press for this. I mean, you know what I mean? Like a lot of, and we'll definitely publicize it here in the US. And actually, we'll be in Kenya then, will we? Won't we? We're going to Kenya that day on the 17th. We'll be flying.
Yeah.
But we'll be with you in spirit. We'll pray for you. And, we're so excited to support you, and we will get this GoFundMe going today.
Thank you. Thank you.
By the time the show airs, it'll be up, and we'll be able to put it in the comments. People are watching.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah.
So cool. It looks like a beautiful place. I mean, once you get up there, like, what do you see? What do you
So
see?
will you come to the mountain with us?
We won't be there yet, but
No, you just come one day. We won't make you run, but yeah, we can take you up there.
all right. We'll come. We'll
I will
come.
be your guide.
All right, we'll come. I want to see what it looks like from the top. Like, what do you see when you're up there?
Oh, there are beautiful things. There are beautiful lakes up there. There are beautiful water bodies. So it's quite a lot to enjoy up there.
Yeah, I don't know that
So you know
we
what?
won't be at the top, but we can look
Now,
up.
you know what, Ricky? How about this? How about this? This is the advanced team that's going on the 17th to climb the mountain for us. But on the 29th of January, we can all purpose to attend and actually take the funds up the mountain. So if we do very well with the GoFundMe, we can actually be able to come back and launch the first screening from Kenya with yourselves in presence, and you get to watch these guys suffer for 24 hours.
Suffer. I don't want to watch them suffer. But yeah, we could watch. Okay,
No,
let's
but
talk
we
about
can
that.
actually do a community engagement at that
Okay,
point,
great.
even as they're going up. So if we do the GoFundMe very well, that's something that we can do, and we would love to host you for that. So you're in Kenya next week. You'll get to meet some of the others who are running with him, and when you do, then we can take it forward into January Cervical Cancer Awareness Month, and we can do a combined cervical, breast, prostate cancer, and other cancers awareness on that end week of January, because then we would have resources for it.
I
Great.
love the sound of that. Let's keep
Great.
talking.
Great.
Let's keep
Great.
talking about that.
Great.
But this
Yeah.
has been such a great conversation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Benda, thank you so much for being
Thank
on
you
our
so
team.
much.
You're
Yeah.
such a wonderful addition to Team Sambai. And Limo, thanks for hopping on to discuss this incredible thing that you're doing in a week. We have your your heart with our hearts are with you. Sorry.
Yes, everything. Our
because-
prayers are with you.
Yeah.
And
wish
we're
you
so
all the
grateful
best.
we're so grateful for you being on this episode with us. And we will get this set up. We'll talk about January 29th, and we will see you soon. And
Yes, sir.
and I think that, you know, what we're going to learn from this, and just even it gives us an opportunity to build more awareness of Sambai in Kenya and what we're doing, the research studies. So we're so grateful for that. So thank you for
Absolutely.
being on Sambai Speaks.
Yes, thanks for hopping on.
Yeah.
We will see you all next. We'll
See you in
guys
Kenya.
next week,
See
but
you
we
in
will
Kenya.
see everybody else next month.
Yeah, we'll see you in Kenya.
Absolutely.
All
And
right.
and
Thank you
even
for
from
joining
us,
today. Uh-huh.
even from us, we're delighted to be working with Sambai, and because the immense opportunity that exists to sensitize our communities, but also build awareness and education and bring people care that matters to them now is tremendous. I can see Limo has dropped off the call, so
Yeah.
maybe it's our time to say thank you so much and bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Take care
Thank
now. See you soon, Benda.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks for Sambai Speaks. Thanks for joining us. Thanks, Black Doctor, for the platform. And we'll see you next month with another episode.
See you next month.
Absolutely. Thank